No decision has been made one way or the other. He gave some opinions about the type of standard burden of proof that you have, reasonable versus unreasonable, but basically indicated that no decision has been made. There was an effort to get some time frame as to when we could expect some kind of decision. She was not in a position to do that, she says, because the matters are being sent out to the forensic people. So on balance, it was pretty much like we thought it might be. There was no direct information basically as to the status of things. We certainly let forth a position that we want him and the officer to be prosecuted. We're very upset that he in fact has received potentially almost a promotion since this, which was shocking in the sense that he was under investigation and he was about ready to be promoted to another position. We also were very much disturbed by the comments that the chief of BART made relative to the investigation. So on balance, it was an important decision, an important meeting to have. And I think that it only means that we're getting ready for the next meeting, and hopefully there'll be more answers as we go along.
So no timeline given. Must be absolutely frustrating to have go months without any timeline or sense of when this is coming to some type of closure. Can we ask you about that frustration and what that's been like for you as a family?
Well, it's actually mind-boggling, because you have a system that's already been set up that have been through this before. So This is not new. This is not something that they have to reinvent. This is something that they are so well and familiar with. So it's really just a tragic that we have to keep going through, that we have to relive this over and over again as a mother, not having the time to grieve. They so used to seeing you doing a whole lot of crying.
Yes, they are. Yes,
and
they
no
are.
investigation.
That's right.
But I'm a mother that going to look into it myself, which I have been doing. Myself, my family, my Hebrew cultural community, my friends, everyone that's out here.
Yes. That's right.
We're saying we're not going to wait forever for you to keep putting this off.
Say it.
To keep giving us an excuse as to when you can do it. We want to know, when are you going to do it?
Yes.
When are you going to make fact? When are you going to make it happen? And this is the reason why we keep coming back. And we will continue to come back.
Yes, right.
Miss O'Malley will continue to see our face because we're not going anywhere. And she's up for re-election. And we expect for her to do that which is right, that which is according to the law, but that which she saw with her own eyes. It say, testify that which you have seen with your own eyes. And she saw with her eyes that my son was shot in the back.
That's right.
Did she agree with you and say, I agree with these points in this narrative, that any kind of agreement there?
No, there was no agreement as to any of the assertions that she did say. I did see the video and acknowledged seeing that, but gave no opinion as to what that video represented in terms of any kind of factual analysis. He only said it was just one part of the puzzle, one part of a piece of evidence. There's other evidence that has to be considered. And part of the forensic aspect is to have another person, a person with some expertise in evaluating what's in the videos, to slow it down, to analyze the brightness, the dark, whatever needs to be done so you get a clear view. Basically, she said that's what they're planning on doing. But there was no timetable as to when that could happen, because we are concerned that it could be indefinite. And there's a lot of pain that takes place the longer you go forward. And so we certainly like to get some certainty about this in the very near future. But there was no indication if that was going to happen soon.
So there's a lawsuit, right, coming, or is there a lawsuit coming against BART Police, or can you talk about that?
Well, we have filed a claim, and that claim is ongoing. We are doing our investigation. And I, in fact, myself have hired forensic experts. So I'm doing what you're supposed to do. So we were looking at it. But at the end of the day, I want to get the video. I want to get the report. I have made efforts to talk to BART's lawyers about getting various aspects of the police report statements that were made by the officer and stuff. but that has not been forthcoming. Again, they're saying the matter's under investigation, so they're not willing to come forward and give up any particular evidence, because that's important for us to know what the officer said initially. And the reason why that's important is because there was a narrative that was put out by the police public spokesperson for the department. That narrative said that Shaleem had done certain things. Where did that come from? And in our view, it had to come from the officer. So we wanted to find out if the officer made this initial statement to the public relations officer of OPD about what he had seen, and that's the narrative that they used. That's extraordinarily important, because that narrative does not square with the video. So there's a lot you want to do to either corroborate or disprove, and evidence requires that. So that's part of the process. There's a parallel thing going on here, of course. They're doing their investigation. We obviously have been doing ours as well.
John, as part of your investigation, have you been able to talk to